these elections happened right here in Mumbai, the elections for the BMC. And the BJP and the Shiv Sena have managed a massive win. The BJP has finally managed to install what many are calling a triple-engine sarkar. They have a government at the state, they have the centre, and of course now in the local body as well. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is being seen by many as the architect of this turnaround. All three levers of government are now controlled by the BJP. It becomes the biggest party in Maharashtra, from playing second fiddle 10 or 20 years ago to the Shiv Sena to becoming the number one, the big brother party, the numero uno party of Maharashtra. The BJP indeed has come a long way. On the other side, from once ruling the BMC for the last 25 years, even coming together, putting their bitter family rivalry apart, the Thackeray cousins, Uddhav and Raj Thackeray, came together to save the Thackeray name and the Thackeray legacy. They have lost face, they have lost elections, they have lost their foothold in Mumbai and perhaps even relevance in the city of Mumbai, because they derived their power from the BMC. They derived their resources from the BMC, because 75,000 crore budget, the richest civic body in Asia, and this entire tag of outsider versus insider. If you don't speak Marathi, you're not welcome in Mumbai, beating up people because they didn't speak Marathi. All of that has been rejected by the voters of Mumbai. That has found absolutely no resonance whatsoever. The politics of parochialism, the politics of nativism, the politics of this reductionist narrative, that has not worked with the people of Maharashtra, or the people of Mumbai for that matter. But it's not just Mumbai. There's been a sea change across multiple metropolitan areas, not just in the greater Mumbai region, but across the state as well. Let's bring you up to speed. Let's start with Mumbai because it's the most important. It's the capital. Support here for the BJP has risen from 82. Remember, it had come very close to the Shiv Sena's number back in 2017, the United Sena and the BJP at that time. The BJP had 82 in 2017. Now it's gone up to 94. And that signals a very strong consolidation of the urban vote behind the BJP. But it's not just Mumbai. The real surge also comes from Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad, because there in Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad, the Pawars had united. Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar had united. At one point of time, the BJP had just 26 seats 8 years ago in 2017. Today, the BJP has 84 seats in Pune. That's a massive turnaround. It reshapes the political map of Pune. In Navi Mumbai, again, it's a similar story. From a modest 6 seats that they had in 2015, today the BJP has 66 seats in 2026. And that points to growing confidence amongst younger voters, Gen Z voters, migrant voters. They're all willing to back the BJP because they want, at the end of the day, development at all levers of government. They don't want conflict between multiple political parties. The state did witness that for about 2.5 years between state and centre when Mr. Uddhav Thackeray was the chief minister. Thane, again, a huge vindication for Mr. Eknath Shinde because he hails from Thane. Steady. The BJP had 23 last time. This time they're in they have 24. But Mr. Shinde's party has more than 50 there, which means that they will be able to form the mayor in Thane. In Kalyan Dombivli, again, the rise is gradual. It's clear. The numbers have moved for the BJP from 42 to 48. It indicates consistent momentum. So across key urban centres, Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Thane, Kalyan Dombivli, Pune, Pimpri Chinchwad, the trend across the state is unmistakable. People are voting for the BJP, and now they are saying, we're giving you the levers of power across all 3 tiers of government, whether it's local government, state government, at the centre. Now work for us and solve our problems. But the architect, undoubtedly, of this stupendous turnaround for the BJP is the Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. He took out a celebratory rally today at the BJP headquarters here in Mumbai. And why not? Because, like I said, from playing second fiddle 10 or 20 years ago, today the BJP is the numero uno party. And in no small measure, the credit for it goes to that man, Devendra Fadnavis. Let's listen into what he had to say.
महाराष्ट्र का ये महाविजय महाराष्ट्र की जनता को और हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं को हम समर्पित करते हैं। ये जो विजय है, महाराष्ट्र की जनता का हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी पर जो विश्वास है, उस विश्वास की यह विजय है। इस देश में और महाराष्ट्र में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने जो विकास और विश्वास की राजनीति शुरू की है, उसका यह विजय है।
So here are the 10 big takeaways from this election. Mumbai and most major urban pockets across the city have voted for a triple engine sarkar. They want the BJP and the Shiv Sena, which is the Shinde Sena, whether it is in Mumbai, whether it is in Nashik, whether it is in Kalyan Dombivli, Thane, everywhere they want the same party or the same coalition so that they can finally have delivery of services and they can fix accountability. The BJP has emerged as the largest party across urban municipal bodies across the state, no doubt about it, from Nagpur all the way to Mumbai, from west to east. It is the BJP which is the dominant political force. Mr. Fadnavis has consolidated his position as Chief Minister, his position as the biggest face of the BJP in the state. Also, this is a big win for brand Modi. The Prime Minister tweeted some time ago thanking the people of Mumbai and Maharashtra for reposing faith in the BJP's brand of politics and its brand of Vikas. On the other side, the Thackerays have been voted out from Mumbai, from the BMC, after 25 years. The Thackeray throne has been trounced. That's where they derived their power from. That's where they derived their resources from, given the biggest budget for any civic body in Asia. The Pawars too have been marginalized. They've slipped behind the BJP. Remember, it's not just the Thackeray clan. It's not just the Thackeray cousins who came together. Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar also joined hands, despite the fact that Ajit Pawar is part of the ruling coalition, the ruling Mahayuti, and yet uncle and nephew came together, both in Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad. Both those places, they have been relegated behind the BJP. The NCP Ajit Pawar may even find itself out of the equation in the Mahayuti. Remember, all was not well. The equations were a little tempered between Mr. Fadnavis and Mr. Shinde, but after today's result, it seems like they may not even need Ajit Pawar to continue as part of the coalition. There was clearly a lack of public connect, lackluster issues being taken up, campaigning was not there in full earnest. Rahul Gandhi did not even address a single rally for the elections here in Mumbai. All of that is haunting the opposition. For the opposition, this is again a major setback. And you're hearing the familiar tune of vote chori and the election commission gaslighting, etc., which again is simply just an excuse on a day when they've been clearly defeated in municipal body after municipal body. There's also the limits of insular, parochial, nativist politics, whether it is appealing to a nativist Marathi Manus message. Basically, the people of Mumbai have said, we are looking beyond this regional parochial politics. We want development, we want big infrastructure projects, we want also the micro details to be taken care of, whether it is potholes, flooded roads, pollution problem in Mumbai. It's another morale-sapping defeat for the opposition. It's got implications for the national electoral picture as well. It is the first mega victory in 2026. It is a good omen for the NDA. Remember, in a couple of months, tough state elections are coming up in Tamil Nadu, in Bengal, in Kerala. These are not states where the NDA is in a strong position. So clearly, this is a good omen just ahead of that. And India's richest municipal body, the BMC, which serves the nation's business capital, could see a potential revamp as a result of it. Let's listen to some political reactions in what has been a momentous political day here in Mumbai and indeed across the state of Maharashtra, and then we'll open this up to our guests.
जो वोटिंग पैटर्न चलाया सरकार ने, ये बेहद गंभीर बात है। हजारों लोगों के नाम गायब रहे, जिसने विधानसभा में वोट किया है, और ऐसे एरिया से वोट गायब हो गए जहां शिवसेना को या महाराष्ट्र नवनिर्माण सेना को या कांग्रेस को वोट हुए, वहां से हजारों लोगों के नाम गायब हो गए। ईवीएम मशीन बार बार बंद होती रही बहुत से प्रभागों में। जहां राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस को बटन दबाया गया है, वहां कमल के ऊपर लाइट ऑन होती है।
चुनावी प्रक्रिया में जिस प्रकार से धांधली हो रही है, जिस प्रकार से नाम काटे जा रहे हैं, जिस प्रकार से मतदाताओं को प्रभावित किया जा रहा है, जिस प्रकार से पैसे बांटे जा रहे हैं, शासकीय धन का दुरुपयोग हो रहा है, और जिस प्रकार से निर्वाचन आयोग की जो भूमिका है वो ये स्पष्ट कर रहा है कि चुनाव प्रक्रिया से लोगों का विश्वास उठते जा रहा है।
Okay, let me open this up to our guests. A full panel joining us live from Mumbai. We're coming to you live from Mumbai in this special edition of Brass Tacks. Sena is national spokesperson of the BJP. Sena spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Intikhab Farooqi, spokesperson of the Sena UBT. Mahesh Chavan, spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. Let me start with you, Sena. Like I said, 10 or 15 years ago, the BJP was playing second fiddle to Big Brother Shiv Sena. Today, the Thackerays have been relegated to an almost politically irrelevant space. They're not in power either in the state or in the BMC. The BMC was their guard. They derived their power from the BMC. And despite the fact that the Thackeray cousins united and appealed to this almost nativist, parochial sentiment, saying that, this is our last stand. If you don't save the Marathi Manus in this election, if you don't vote for the Thackerays, then the Marathi Manus are done for. But the people of Mumbai have not resonated with that message. They have voted for development and they've given you now a triple engine sarkar. Tween.
Well, good evening, Zaka. Good evening, everybody. It's a big day for Mumbai. It's a big day for Maharashtra. So far we have been talking about double engine sarkar, but what we have seen in the last couple of years is triple engine sarkar coming in across the country. So whether even in Maharashtra, and it is not just, the success of BJP and Mahayuti is not just confined to BMC. In Pune and in Nagpur, look at the majority. More than 2/3 seats in Pune and Nagpur. We have won Sambhajinagar, which was never our domain, which was never a strong area for us. We have won Nasik, where we were not strong. So, in one word, in one flow, the voters of Maharashtra seem to have completely rejected the negativity of the Mahagathbandhan. But at the same time, while we are focusing on Thackeray brothers, the negativity and the narrow-mindedness of their politics, I think it's a bigger blow for the Congress party. The Congress party, until 2014, was in power in the state for 3 successive terms. Imagine that Congress party today has been reduced to a mere 3 seats in the heart of Mumbai. Mumbai is where Congress party had their first adhivation, after the Congress party was formed. So I think, the way Congress party has become extinct in many other parts of the country, it is now extinct in Maharashtra also. And I will repeat what I've been saying for some time. People have now started punishing the Mahagathbandhan for their falsehood, for their lies. Now today Rahul Gandhi tweets about the quality of ink. Imagine in the last 18 months, this is the 3rd excuse which he has given for the loss, from EVM tampering to vote chori to the quality of ink. When will this Congress party and when will the
so today again he put out a tweet saying the election commission is gaslighting. The election commission is gaslighting the people of India. Let me ask China NC this, whether it is blaming EVMs, vote chori, now gaslighting by election commission, indelible ink being delible, all of that. At the end of the day, are the people of India being insulted, the voters of Mumbai being insulted? Because let's face it, a political party also needs to be humble enough to accept the results. The people of Mumbai have spoken. You accept the result. It hasn't gone your way, but that's fine. Sometimes you lose elections, sometimes you win elections. But to insult the voters of Mumbai by saying that, election commission is gaslighting you, that's not on.
So, Zaka, I think, the standard practice of the script writer for the Ubata and the Manse is a gentleman called Sanjay Raut. And tomorrow morning, I'm quite looking forward to hearing what his reasons of not coming to power are. Sometimes it's the election commission, sometimes it's EVMs, sometimes it's misuse of money power and votes for notes and notes for votes and whatever have you. Sometimes it's saying that BJP does dhanda at Kamatipura. Sometimes it's this ink mark. Come on, move beyond, because the people of Mumbai are way too intelligent. They have voted for development and that's why they have chosen the Mahayuti. Our leader Eknathji Shinde has espoused the cause of why haven't we even had concrete roads for 25 years. Khadde Mukt Mumbai is a reality now, because for phase 1, phase 2 have been completed with utility ducts and utility tunnels in 400 kilometers. And by April end, you will have 750 kilometers completely concretized. So where there is a will, there's a way, and you vote for that developmental agenda. Yes, there are
No, but
Herculean
China,
challenges.
it also means that the people of Mumbai are now giving you the keys to all three levels of government, local
Yes,
government,
and
state
absolute
government and centre,
accountability.
which
And
means you have to be
accountability,
accountable, you have to
transparency.
deliver
Yes,
now.
I was just coming to that. So that's why you need accountability, transparency, and zero corruption. Now, I want to ask that, for 25 years, we didn't even have one sewage treatment plant. We have announced 7, and pollution, which with all kinds of toxicity, which was thrown into the sea. Now, for those people who love the shoreline and who are interested in, combating pollution and the environment, these are all core issues which the Mumbaikar wants addressed. Air quality index is a very serious challenge for a lot of people who have respiratory problems, health issues, etc. So we understand what we are supposed to do, and we will continue to do it in a time-bound way. We thank the
so
people
let me
of
ask
Maharashtra
Intikab
that you have the
Farooqui,
center,
yesterday,
state, and municipal corporations.
yesterday you were on the show, Mr. Farooqui, and I said, all the exit polls are giving a runaway victory to the BJP and to the Shiv Sena, and today that's exactly what has happened. The last remaining stand of the Thackeray brothers has now been rejected by the people of Mumbai. Will you do some introspection to figure out, where you went wrong in this whole appealing to Marathi manos, emotions, legacy, etc.? People are not interested in that anymore.
So we are almost there, but yes, we are little short on reaching the level. But yes, still the counting is going on. Let's see if we can cover the gap. And the counting is still going on in some places.
BJP Shiv Sena is at 112. You're at 72.
I mean, what is he saying?
But yes, the places where we have lost, we'll definitely work on it. We'll work on it, and we will come back again. It's not that we are leaving the hopes. We are working on it, and we are waiting for the counting to be completed. Until then, we cannot
tell
say
me,
anything.
Sir, the entire
and then
campaign
our senior leaders will
that
decide
you ran.
what
One second. The entire campaign that was run, the Thackeray cousins came together and said, this is about Mumbai, Marathi manos, emotional card, saving Bala Sahib's legacy, etc. People are saying that's not what we want. We want our corporators to give us better roads, better hospitals, better schools, better connectivity.
That is what Shiv Sena has been doing.
That's the message that you should have taken to the people.
That is what our Sena was doing so far in so many years in BMC. That is the reason we stayed in BMC for so many years, because our corporators were doing wonderful job in their constituencies.
Oh, please, let's highlight.
And then
there were no
whether it
pothole
comes to water,
there was no flooding during monsoon,
when it
there
comes
was
to a
no
hospital,
pollution
kind of
problem. Come
the
on.
Mithi
working
River,
very hard on
the
their
scam, the Khichdi scam, the kind of scams where you had commodities which were procured for 400 rupees and sold at 6,000 rupees.
And now also we were almost there, but
it.
yes, we have a little gap. Let's see if we can cover that. And
what little
leaders,
gap?
I don't know which numbers you are seeing. The numbers that we are flashing on the screen, 114 to the BJP Shiv Sena. They will likely go past 120 is my information, because all the leads have not consolidated. All the results have not been declared for each of the seats.
No, we have some other parties also.
And the MNS are reduced to just 72 seats. In fact, the MNS is the biggest drag on your alliance. The Sena UBT on its own seems to be doing okay. The MNS is in single digits. Last I checked, it was at 6 seats. Anyway, so Mahesh Chauhan is also joining us from the NCP SP. Again, in Pune, in Pimpri-Chinchwad, it's not just the Thackeray cousins who came together, sir. Even Mr. Sharad Pawar and Mr. Ajit Pawar came together. There was a famous press conference of Supriya Sule and Ajit Pawar. And yet, in Pune, which was supposed to be your backyard, your gud as it's called, there also you seem to have lost to the BJP.
Firstly, let me accept the mandate given by the people. We accept it humbly. Secondly, we congratulate BJP for their win in Maharashtra. We also would like to thank those who voted for us and those who did not vote for us. I thank them also that they want us to be there in opposition. We assure them that we will try to do our job best and satisfy them. And we'll definitely do introspection, some analysis, but we need some time for that. And as far as
Mr. Chauhan, again, it comes down to the question. No, one second. Hear me out. Doesn't it come down to the question that just because There is the
Zaka.
Pawar name and the Pawar legacy, and the Pawar family is trying to save its legacy. It doesn't mean that the voters care about it. The voters want to know what you will do for them. They are not interested in whether your political power play continues or not.
No, look, you are getting me wrong. It was BJP who refused to fight elections in alliance with Ajit Pawar NCP. Is that true or not? Right. Because they rejected to, or they refused to contest the elections in alliance with Ajit Pawar NCP. Ajit Pawar tried joining hands with us, and we thought it would be a good opportunity. Secondly, it was not us, not the leadership who decided it. Generally, local body elections are about the cadre, about the local workers, party workers. And we let them take a decision, and it was a decision taken by them, and they had a feeling at that time that joining hands together with Ajit Pawar will benefit both the parties. This was the thought process behind it.
You know, the numbers are there on your screen. Ajit Pawar NCP fought 80 seats. They won 3 at a strike rate of 4%. The NCP Sharad Pawar contested 10 seats. They were in alliance, of course. So this is in Mumbai that we're talking about. They contested 10 seats, won only 1 seat at a strike rate of 10%. So again, I think the people have given their resounding mandate to Heen. I want to take this forward. I want to take this forward. Basically, all this, factions and factions within factions, I think this debate is now settled. Very clearly, the people are saying we want to give the same party or the same alliance the levers of power in all, sections of government, whether it's local government, state government, center, etc. Now you start delivering for us. Now you fix our potholes. Now you fix our pollution problem. Now you fix our health crisis, the garbage dumps, all of that. Now you can't give us an excuse, oh, we don't have control of BMC, or we don't have control of Mantralaya. Now you have control everywhere.
No, on the other hand, rather we don't even need to talk about development now because people have seen development. If you travel to, and since you've been in Mumbai for the last 1 week or last few days, the transformation that Mumbai has seen, whether it is the coastal road which will now extend right up to Bhayandar, whether it is 85 kilometers of metro rail which will expand to 300 kilometers, whether it is the Navi Mumbai, areas around Navi Mumbai which will lead to a new city, Naina city, all of these are visible and visible in record time. Previously, when Uddhav Sena used to govern the BMC, they would talk big, but the only thing that was visible was potholes on the road. Fortunately, the kind of work which Devendra Fadnavis has executed in Maharashtra, we don't need to talk about development because development is visible. So when you talk about different permutations and combinations that Maharashtra has seen, one thing is constant, which is BJP has to be the focal point of the alliance that is talking about development, that is executing development, and this vision comes from Prime Minister Modi himself.
Let me give you an outsider's perspective. Yes, you're right. There is visible infrastructure improvement in Mumbai. No one can deny that. Certainly, the coastal road, the sea link, the metro, the Atal Setu, and of course now the Navi Mumbai airport. So the big macro infra story, there's no doubt, has improved in Mumbai. But what about the micro? What about the garbage problem? What about the pollution problem? What about the sewage? Yeah, Shaina, you take that one, yes.
Yes, Zaka, there are certain parties that remember the Marathi Manus, Marathi Asmita, Marathi Abhiman only at the time of elections. Look at what our leader Eknathji Shinde has actually done. He has got 17,000 homes for slum dwellers in Ramabai Nagar ready. He has got back sons of the soil to BDD Chaul and given them homes. The Gini Kamgars, that's the mill workers in Mumbai, have been given homes. 20,000 buildings have been given OC. Pagri Mukt Mumbai. These are the things that affect the person, individuals in day-to-day life. If you look at women today, what do we want? We want that 50% concession in BST buses and ST buses. We want to be able to get a cervical cancer vaccination at a municipal hospital and not worry about what the bill is going to be. These are things which have been done on ground. If we talk about green lungs, the 300 acre, like a central park at the Mahalakshmi racecourse. This is the pet project of Eknathji Shinde. So all these issues affect citizens who have voted and voted beyond lungi, pungi, rasmalai and all this negative commentary that seems to be only their photo optics and theatrics.
Mr. Farooqi, all this language that was used by Mr. Raj Thackeray, the attacks on people because they were not speaking Marathi, this whole parochial politics, people are saying, we are done with this. This is not the 1960s or the 1970s. This is 2026. People want vikas, people want development, people want a better life and livelihood. You're not offering that. You're stuck in the politics of the 60s and 70s.
Sir, see, if you go abroad, we speak English. If you go to Tamil Nadu, they also want their language to be spoken. So if in Maharashtra, if they demand that if you're staying in Mumbai and Maharashtra, you're having a family, studying here, going abroad, everything. So if they demand that you speak in Marathi,
but you can't beat people up just because they don't speak the local language. You can't beat them up.
No. It's not that. It's not that beating them up. There are some other parties, people also who are beating people, and many things are happening. But it is the law who will take the action. We are not saying on it. But yes, because during the election period, these statements were brought up into media as to focus. But that people are also smart. But yes, we only want to work out on areas where we have lost today, and we are focusing on it so that we can come back again. It's not that, but there are many other issues also where people, talk and many
you have to do a lot of focusing and a lot of.
Not that.
What is very evident here, Zaka, is that people who worked on ground have been given the referendum. People who work from home
Zaka,
have been told to stay home.
Okay. Basically, I mean, whoever is doing work has been rewarded. Whoever is not seen on the ground amongst the people, they have been punished. That is the message from the mandate today. Yes, Tuhin.
At least I see Uddhav Sena saying we'll try to work hard, we will improve. If you look at the Congress attitude, the Congress is very clearly saying we will never improve. We will go down the drain. We will only blame institutions. We will only blame anybody else but our own party. I think, while the Thackeray brothers have been decimated, we are missing out on the larger picture. After Gujarat, after Uttar Pradesh, after Bihar, Maharashtra, one of the second largest state of India, also marks complete depletion and, the Congress facing an existential crisis in the state. I think it's about time, the Congress top leadership is held accountable for that. Of course, when it comes to
Thackeray brothers, up until the 1990s, up until the mid-1990s, the Congress used to rule the BMC. Murli Deora, for the longest time, used to be, the mayor of this city. From the Congress party. Yeah. But anyway, Mr. Chavan is also there. Mr. Chavan, does this now call for serious sort of overhaul of the politics of negativity, the politics of, vote chori and this and that, all kinds of excuses that are being thrown up by not just the Congress, but your party is also, in parliament, etc. You also, hopped onto this bandwagon, this narrative of vote chori, etc. Ultimately, how many elections will the opposition have to lose for you to go back and pick up the issues that matter to the people?
No, this election, we haven't said anything about that. We haven't spoken about EVMs. We haven't spoken about vote chori. Our agenda was only about the civic infrastructure, which, we have long-standing issues in Mumbai. Now, this would not be a right time to discuss all that about the development and all that. Because this is not the right time, really, because, Jo Jita was Sikandar. So, definitely, as I said...
do you at least agree that when it comes to development, the people are trusting the BJP and the Shiv Sena more than they are trusting you or the Congress party? And the development, at least the macro development, is visible to them.
No. See, about the development, let me talk if you are insisting on that. Definitely, people have believed BJP more than that of us, no doubt about this. But about the development, yes, development is necessary. BJP has done some development work in Mumbai. But if they are claiming that they have won because of the development work done in Mumbai, then I have some doubts about it. Let me speak. See, firstly, BJP always spoke about three development work mainly in Mumbai. One is metro, second is coastal road, and third is Atal Setu. These were the three things they were focusing on. So metro, the development in any city or any town for that matter, or any country for that matter, has to be people-centric. The benefits should be available for people to enjoy, a common man to enjoy. You tell me
But
one thing.
Zaka,
I'll
what
give three
is
examples.
this?
Sir, the metro is for the
Please,
common man only. No, it's not for the VVIP.
Please don't interrupt.
The common man is not using the metro.
What are
Let me
you
finish.
talking?
Zaka, let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay,
please.
I'm also
Three
running out of time,
examples.
so quickly finish, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
three examples. I'll finish quickly. Three examples. For example, metro from Andheri to Churchgate, it is 70 rupees one way and 140 rupees return. Can a common man in Mumbai afford
Let's not get into
a
these
local
micro-
train? Please don't interrupt. Where a local train fare is 20 rupees. So it is metro is not for common man. Coastal road 150 rupees is the toll every day. The office goers cannot afford. Thirdly, the Atal Setu, which is 240 rupees toll for single trip.
Sir,
Return is almost 500
I mean, I've been here
See,
barely
see,
a
see.
few days.
Let me now,
Everybody
can
is
the
taking
common
the
man-
coastal road.
Zaka,
Everybody
Zaka.
is taking the metro. Sir,
Who's
this
taking
is
the
again
metro?
the
These are
problem is
size.
the problem is you are
I
again
live in Mumbai.
finding
Listen to me.
finding
Listen to me.
nitty-gritties and
I travel
nitpicking.
every day.
No.
Zaka,
there may be issues. I'm not
Zaka,
denying that. But at least
One last
That's
point.
what I'm
Look,
saying.
like I said, the macro infrastructure issues the BJP seems to be very good at. Coastal road, metro, etc. It's visible. It's there for everybody to see.
No,
But
no,
the
it's there.
micro
I
is the
agree to
problem. I'm asking Shaina and Tuhin this. Whether it's the garbage issue, whether it is the water crisis, whether it
A lot
is
of things.
the pollution problem. People seem to have given up on this, Shaina.
No, not at all. Not at all. Let me please address. When Devendra Fadnavis and our leader Eknathji Shinde announced the 17,000 crore package for green initiatives, we have roped in IITians, engineers, AI, the best of technology to ensure that we combat. If there are 5,000 electric buses, that is to reduce carbon emission. There are certain parties that stall the progress of the Mumbai Metro. 435 kilometers of Mumbai Metro are world-class and probably the best in the country, reducing carbon emission. Yes, you're right. There wasn't a sewage treatment plant because all the junk was just chucked into the sea. But our leader, Eknathji Shinde, has announced 7 sewage treatment plants, and the sea line, the seashore and the sea that we see will be healthy in terms of anti-pollutants. Yes, we need to have private and public partnership. When it comes to garbage segregation, citizens also have a role to play. And we have engaged with NGOs. We have engaged with Gen Z. We are trying everything within our capacity. 1.5 crore people who live here. And for a city like Mumbai that has 1,224 kilometers of roads, to ensure that it's all concretized takes time, but we've given a timeline of next year.
No, fair enough. I think the first big test, will come 6 months from now when the monsoon happens. If they pass that test, we'll have a show again, and we'll have a show again, and we will talk about this. But for the moment, I think let's be very clear. The big picture is this is a massive political change that is happening in the city of Mumbai. The Thackerays, who had this sort of stranglehold in the BMC for the last 25 years, they've now been wiped out clean. It's going to be the BJP and the Shiv Sena all the way controlling the BMC, the richest civic body in Asia. And clearly, the man of the match, no doubt about it, no question about it, is Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister of the state. His stature has certainly gone up, both within the state and also nationally. What implications that may have, we'll have to wait and see. But congratulations are in order, certainly, for the BJP and the Shiv Sena. But the time for work and the time for delivery begins now.
They know well that what we tell we do, and we don't tell anything which we cannot do.
मुझे लगता है कि ये क्लैरिटी पुणे का जनता में बिल्कुल आई है कि काम होगा तो बिल्कुल भारतीय जनता पार्टी के माध्यम से होगा.
Who knows the pulse of people more? It is BJP, the Mahayuti.
The MNS has shown very poor performance.
Marathi votes total contribution has reduced.
ये हमारी आर्थिक राजधानी है। मुंबई को मुंबई जैसे बनाएंगे हम, और ये पूरी तरह जो स्थगित स्टे देने का काम करने वालों को मुंबई वासियों ने हटा दिया है।
Well, you're watching Brass Tacks with me, Poonam Burde, and we're shifting focus from India to Iran, which is a nation that's mired in almost every possible crisis. Western sanctions that have finished off any chances of growth for the country, nationwide protests triggered by severe economic distress and decades of repression of personal liberties, the quelling of voices by force, the persecution of ethnic and religious minorities, and most dangerously, an impending sense of doom at the hands of the United States. Donald Trump is adamant. For him, all options are open to free the Iranians from the Khamenei regime. The latest is the redirection of USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group from South China Sea towards the Gulf region. It's a move that has signaled Washington's readiness for possible kinetic action against Iran. So is this a matter of time? Is it a matter of when and not really if the US will strike Iran? So let's break this down for you. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft and some of its escort warships are heading toward the Middle East from the South China Sea. This aircraft carrier had departed San Diego in late November 2025. There was almost no fanfare. 50 days later, it returned to shore and then made this journey towards the South China Sea. The Department of Defense didn't announce where it was going to be deployed, but it was sent towards the South China Sea, and then there was a change in direction. What we now know is that it will take about 4 days for the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group to transit from the Indo-Pacific to the Middle East. So why is this concerning? Now, the USS Lincoln is a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. It was commissioned in 1989 with more than 35 years of active service. This floating fortress weighs 100,000 tons. It's powered by 2 nuclear reactors, giving it virtually unlimited range and the ability to operate anywhere in the world without refueling. Its air wing delivers overwhelming force from the sky. It includes Super Hornets, the Growlers, the electronic warfare, the Hawkeyes for airborne command and control, the Seahawks as well for anti-submarine and rescue missions. Now, protecting this carrier are several of these destroyers that are traveling with the aircraft carrier from the South China Sea to the Middle East. They're guarding against air and submarine threats as well. Now, these warships are armed with dozens of Tomahawk cruise missiles. They're capable of striking targets up to 1,000 miles away. So why does this matter now? Well, the USS Abraham Lincoln is battle-tested. It's capable of rapid, decisive strikes, and it's ideally suited for deployments in West Asia. And what more importantly it does is that it sends a message that the United States is prepared and positioned to whatever comes next in the region. So if the US was to strike Iran or any other targets, where would they dock this USS Lincoln and where would they undertake these strikes from? What are the US assets in the Middle East like if they were to consider this strike? Well, the United States maintains a significant military presence across the Middle East. In Turkey, there is an airbase. Approximately 2,500 US personnel serve there. It is a critical hub for air operations and regional logistics. In Iraq, about 2,000 troops remain deployed. They're focused on counter-terrorism missions and support local security forces. They could be roped in if the need be. Across the border in Syria, another 2,000 US service members operate in key locations, targeting extremist threats and stabilizing contested areas. Kuwait too has some presence of the United States. It in fact hosts one of the largest US footprints in the region. There are 13,000 personnel acting as major staging ground for forces. At the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, there are roughly 13,000 US troops that support the largest American military installation in the Middle East. It's home to forward headquarters and air operations across the region. Then in Saudi Arabia, again, there are about 3,000 US personnel that are stationed to assist with air defense and regional deterrence. The naval support activity in Bahrain hosts about 7,000 US personnel. They're serving at the headquarters of the US 5th Fleet. They ensure that maritime security across several key waterways, given the interests, both strategic and economical, that the United States has. In the United Arab Emirates, about 5,000 US troops support air, naval and logistical operations, and in Oman as well. It is a smaller but strategically vital force of about 600 personnel that support access to key airfields and maritime routes. So is the US readying a plan to target Iran, what those targets will look like, and what it would mean not just for the two countries involved, Iran and the United States, but for the rest of the region and the rest of the world as well? To decode that, I want to open this up. Barzeen Wagmar is joining us. He represents Center for Iranian Studies at the South Asia Institute of University of London. Mr. Wagmar, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. I want to begin by asking you, how do you interpret this recent escalation in rhetoric from the United States, the kind of threats, as many would call it, that President Trump has been making of military action, or the fact that now the USS Lincoln has been moved towards the Middle East?
Well, Mr. Trump needs a more tangible, concrete plan if something is to be done. If Venezuela is looked on as a swift success, you still have the regime in place, the Chavistas. Here, you would still leave the regime intact after a few bombing, spectacular campaigns, who can continue murdering its own population in cold blood. So that will not achieve anything, because that is not what the Iranian people want, whether in the current Islamic Republic or in the diaspora, because the social contract is completely in tatters. It's a point of no return, and nobody wants to go back to this dispensation, which obviously is desperate to cling on to power as long as it possibly can, because they have everything to lose, particularly the Revolutionary Guards, who invested in more ways than one, having hijacked the economy to the tune of 60%, and the millions that they have, and billions actually, that they have made. And there are reports of some of them spiriting away their funds abroad to escrow accounts. Unconfirmed reports within the Iranian Persian-speaking diaspora do mention of certain middle-ranking level ministers and other apparatchiks having hot-footed it either to Turkey or wiring their funds to hush accounts in Dubai and the like.
Correct.
But Mr. Trump needs a more tangible plan, because you can't just bomb the Revolutionary Guards quarters or what are symbolic installations of the state, such as the state prosecutor's office or the judiciary. You need to have a campaign, a kinetic campaign, which also takes out the second and third tier levels of the communications and the state prosecutor's office, the police and the paramilitary. Only then something could happen. And at this point in time, DC does not have a tangible blueprint on the table.
So that blueprint doesn't exist as far as the United States goes, or at least it's not public, so to say. But what do you think then could be the solution to end this particular crisis? Because Donald Trump has made it very clear that he stands with the Iranian people, that he wants this autocratic regime to end. But diplomatically, there has been a complete breakdown. There is no negotiation happening between the two sides now. What comes next?
Well, at present, the regime is gloating that overnight it has managed to quash the protesters, but they are still out in the streets, be that as it may, though they have taken something of a semblance of control of the streets. But it should be writing on the wall that this is a regime on borrowed time. That is apparent this time, after this particular bout of violence to all, especially those at the lower and middle ranks of the hierarchy. And some of them may be calling, at least the pragmatist voices within may be calling for time to tinker with some changes, but then tinkering with these so-called changes might lead to asking gut questions of reforming the economy, of affording civil liberties to the population. And that's not something the hardliners would do, because of their belief that if you give an inch, they take a yard, and that is only the beginning of a slippery slope towards unraveling everything and losing one's grip on the levers of power. Particularly so with the Revolutionary Guards, who do not want to reform the economy and have resisted every such move, which is why Iran is in this mess. And this mess, I want to iterate, has nothing to do with sanctions that have crippled the economy. Sanctions are just the mere accelerant which exposes the rot within the economy.
Sure.
The rot within the economy was there even without the sanctions. Would that sanctions were removed today, the economy would still be dysfunctional. So it is a fallacy to maintain that the sanctions have brought Iran to its knees. Nothing could be further from the truth.
But speaking of those sanctions, there have been Western sanctions on Iran for several years now. To what extent do you think these actions now that are coming in from the United States, or the comments or the threats that are coming in from the Trump administration, would that influence how Iran would behave in the future? I mean, it's not that they have kneeled so far, given the fact the kind of sanctions that they have faced, they've only come out and vowed to fight back harder.
Well, that is the raison d'etre of the regime, defines particularly to the West and particularly to the US. It thrives on it. It is its lifeline. It is what gives its semblance of justification at home. Not that the Iran population buys it, but that is how they will continue being so. The point is, for now, Tehran may have something of a breather because US allies in the region have asked Washington to not go in for an attack. That's because Tehran has been building bridges with some of its partners in the last 6 to 12 months, particularly with Cairo and Riyadh. So for now, MBS and Saudi Arabia would ask Washington to go slow because they don't want to upset the apple cart. And also remember that these are autocratic Middle Eastern traditional sheikdoms who are wary of a populist regime toppling an authoritarian government. Imagine what the repercussions would be at home for them too. So they'd sooner prefer to put up with a weakened authoritarian regime that is the current security state of Iran than to see it completely crumble.
But then what happens if Tehran does want to respond militarily, diplomatically, politically, however which way you see it? How do you think that would play out for the region?
Well, that would be the usual modus operandi of blocking the Strait of Hormuz. But then, as per the international law of the sea, Oman also has maritime jurisdiction. So it's not completely in Tehran's hands. That is point number one. Point number two, they could attack in Iraq, which is the soft spot, the underbelly for US troops. But then that is what they would want to do by distracting from their current crises at home, by attacking, say US bases like the 5th Fleet in Manama, Bahrain, or Al Udeid, Qatar, which they did last year, as you know. But those would be symbolic gestures. They could exercise it, and they will threaten to do so because that sort of saber rattling is what they've always done. And sometimes their bluff has been called off.
So in that case, then, do you think this is going to be the end of the Khomeini regime, so to say, either by overthrow of the autocratic government there, the autocratic regime there, or replacement of the Ayatollah himself?
Well, when 86-year-old Khamenei dies, and if the system is still in place, the security apparatus is in place, what I do envisage, and what we have seen in Iranian studies as specialists, is that the Republican Guards, Revolutionary Guards, will come to the fore. And it will become like Pakistan, a dictatorship. Security, military oligarchy is what Iran will transmogrify into from what is this current clerical autocratic theocracy. The Guards will maintain a semblance of Islamic veneer of piety and being led by clerics, but the said clerics will take an increasingly backsliding role as the Guards come to the fore, and they will also push aside the traditional armed forces with whom they have no love lost in the last 47 years and with whom they have a very correct, albeit cold relationship. And that also brings me to mind to point out that what one is banking on, as what happened during the last revolution in 78-79, is that something must give. If the traditional armed forces or the police refuse to fire on protesters, that's where you may see some unraveling occurring within the security apparatus at the lower or middle level ranks. Not obviously with the Guards who are doctrinally driven and are fanatically wedded to the ideology of the regime and protecting their profits and patronage and power.
So in that case, whether things actually change for the people of Iran, that's something that we'll have to wait and watch out for. Also, the larger context of this United States versus Iran fight, what it would mean for the two countries and the world as a whole. But Mr. Wagner, thank you so much for speaking with us here on Brass Tacks. That's not the only conflict, though, that the US seems to be mired in. Greenland re-emerged as a focal point of geopolitical tension in the Arctic. This after several comments and several reiterations made by the US president asserting American claims to the island. Although Trump previously framed this idea in 2019 as a real estate deal, his second term as president transformed that proposal into a more explicit claim over the territory. Trump, in fact, has argued that US ownership of Greenland is necessary to preempt Russian and Chinese expansion in the region. But are those concerns valid, or is just rhetoric? I dig a little deeper.
Talking about acquiring, not leasing, not having it short term. We're talking about acquiring.
Does that require
And if we don't do it, Russia or China will, and that's not going to happen when I'm president.
Donald Trump insists the United States needs to own Greenland to prevent Russia and China from doing so. He says it can be done the easy way or the hard way, but ownership is a must. In fact, the White House asked Greenland to choose. A picture posted on social media by the White House handle showed sleighs at a crossroad with the United States on one hand and Russia and China on the other. Which way Greenland, asked the post. But why is the United States making Greenland and Greenlanders choose in the first place? It's not a choice for the United States to make. Trump has urged that US control or influence over Greenland is needed for national security to keep Russia and China away from its expansion plans. Greenland, a remote Arctic island, is massive. It's almost as big as Western Europe. A high-stakes meeting between the United States, Denmark and Greenland over Arctic island's future ended without any major breakthrough, amplifying concerns about the prospect of a near-term solution.
Well, we're going to see what happens with Greenland. We need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it, but we can do everything about it.
Greenland's wealth is staggering. Rare earth minerals, crucial for telecommunications, uranium, vast oil reserves, and natural gas previously thought unreachable. Currently, China dominates much of the global supply. Greenland could shift that balance, giving the United States unprecedented control over resources vital for the 21st century. It lies along key transatlantic routes, hosts the US Thule Air Base. The US sees Greenland as essential for early warning radar systems and a gateway for Arctic defense. Russia and China, meanwhile, see the broader Arctic region as an avenue for shipping, energy, and resources. But Trump's warnings about China and Russia are unfounded. Independent data and analysts show no mass Russian or Chinese fleets that are swarming Greenland's waters. US strategy documents highlight the potential for adversary activity in the region, but don't point to any active bases or deployments on Greenland itself. China has research vessels in the Central Arctic Ocean, and while the Chinese and Russian militaries have done joint exercises in the region in the past, they have taken much closer to Alaska.
Ни Россия, ни Китай не заявляли ни о каких подобных планах. Нет никакой фактологической информации, которая могла бы хоть в чем-то подтвердить подобное обвинение. Это раз.
The Northern Sea route, a maritime route in the Arctic Ocean, is becoming easier to navigate due to the melting ice. The NSR can cut shipping trips significantly short, and Russia is hoping to ramp up commerce through the NSR to trade more with Asia than with Europe due to the Western sanctions. Last year, the number of oil shipments from Russia to China via this route rose by a quarter. China is also probing the region. They have sent 10 scientific expeditions to the Arctic and built research vessels to survey the icy waters. Here's the bottom line. Russia is active in the Arctic and expanding its military footprint, but not specifically targeting Greenland. China is also interested. They're interested more so in the shipping and minerals and the economic leverage that they would have, but no bases or any forces in the region or in Greenland itself. The US views their activities as part of a strategic competition, influencing how it frames the issue. Greenlanders and Danes emphasize sovereignty, rules-based diplomacy, and caution against these alarmist narratives. So do Russia and China actually pose a threat to the United States in Greenland, as Donald Trump suggests? Well, the straightforward answer is no, at least not in the direct military sense. What exists is a broader strategic competition over Arctic influence, climate-linked access to resources, and shipping routes, and both sides are watching each other closely. Now, in the Arctic, perception often matters as much as presence. President Donald Trump's rhetoric comes amid a heightened scramble for the region. Whether Greenland becomes a zone of cooperation or conflict will entirely depend on diplomacy, respect for sovereignty, and how the major global powers choose to engage in a rapidly changing world. But one thing is clear, Greenland is no longer just ice and snow. It's a geopolitical chessboard, and China, Russia, and the United States are all making their moves.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Joining us now is a lady who's seen it all. When they wrote him off, she was there as a pillar of strength. And today, as he has proved all of them wrong and further entrenched himself in the politics of Maharashtra as a tall leader, she must be proud. Let's go straight across to her, Amruta Fadnavis ji, wife of Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Devendra Fadnavis. Amruta ji, namaste, Jai Hind, bahut badhai. How does it feel?
Very happy, overwhelmed, and very thankful to Modi ji for his guidance, for his vision, and the hard work put in Maharashtra by each and every Karyakarta, and also by Devendra ji and his associates, Mahayuti, because of which this stunning victory was possible.
It's not just long ago when he was literally written off as a failure, as somebody who will not survive in Maharashtra politics. You were there as a pillar of strength. When you look back at that time and you look at today, what is going through your mind?
I just feel that people are the real judges of who is doing what for Maharashtra. And yes, there are ups and downs. Politics is synonymous to that. But one has to keep his integrity intact, keep on working for the people, and people recognize it one day or the other.
Amruta ji, you are his pillar of strength, and he has often said that. He said that to me too. And he finds a lot of strength, draws a lot of strength from you. What was his outlook ahead of this entire civic body elections? This was also quite tough. Was he ready for this challenge? Let me start with you, Sena. Like I said, 10 or 15 years ago, the BJP was playing second fiddle to big brother Shiv Sena. Today, the Thackerays have been relegated to an almost politically irrelevant space. They're not in power either in the state or in the BMC. The BMC was their guard. They derived their power from the BMC. And despite the fact that the Thackeray cousins united and appealed to this almost nativist, parochial sentiment, saying that, this is our last stand. If you don't save the Marathi Manus in this election, if you don't vote for the Thackerays, then the Marathi Manus are done for. But the people of Mumbai have not resonated with that message. They have voted for development, and they've given you now a triple-engine sarkar. Tween.
Well, good evening, Zaka. Good evening, everybody. It's a big day for Mumbai. It's a big day for Maharashtra. So far we have been talking about double-engine sarkar, but what we have seen in the last couple of years is triple-engine sarkar coming in across the country. So even in Maharashtra, and it is not just the success of BJP and Mahayuti is not just confined to BMC. In Pune and in Nagpur, look at the majority. More than 2/3 seats in Pune and Nagpur. We have won Sambhajinagar, which was never our domain, which was never a strong area for us. We have won Nasik, where we were not strong. So, in one word, in